My guest today is the Chief Marketing Officer for the state of Connecticut. As the very first person to hold this role, he leads the newly created Office of Statewide Marketing and Tourism, shaping and sharing the story of Connecticut as an incredible place to live, work, and play. Please welcome my guest, Anthony.
Thank you for having me, PJ.
Thank you for being here. I told you this before, but when I first introduced this podcast, you were one of the first people that I wanted to have on here.
Oh, I appreciate you thinking of me, and I hope I don't disappoint. You're setting a very high bar for me.
I don't think you will. I mean, the stuff that you've done in the state of Connecticut, you and your team, it's been really fun to watch, and I want to get into all of that. I think we're going to have a fun conversation.
Well, I got to say, it's been a labor of love, all of it, and it comes from the heart. Like, we've assembled a team who just cares so deeply about the state, whether they're born here or a transplant like me.
Yep.
It's been a lot of fun and really nice to see people creating not only positive momentum, but in a way creating a different, more positive culture.
Right. I love that. Because it is a team atmosphere, right? It is. It's the core of everyone. But from your standpoint, you are the first Chief Marketing Officer for the state of Connecticut. Let's get into that. What does that mean?
I'm still trying to figure it out 2.5 years into the job. So I'm sure that there have been roles in the past that are kind of overseeing these different pieces. But so when I got into the state a couple years ago, it was 2021, early 2021, I got the job in the governor's office and came in and was looking around and realizing, just from my experiences, like there was a real, like, kind of down on itself attitude that was here in Connecticut. And I think some of that actually was from right here in Stamford. A lot of the businesses had left, and there were some open buildings and whatnot. And not only has that changed, everything is full. Stanford is booming. The state is doing significantly better. Job recovery has been excellent. Population growth in the state, really have, I can't say that everything is perfect, but there has been good economic growth going from bottom 10 in the country to top 20 in terms of our economy. So there's a lot of positive momentum. And so as a result of that, like, there really is a need and was a need in the state to get out there and tell that story in a more cohesive way. So I think that's where the idea originated, and fortunate enough to be able to notice a need and pitch it, and here we are.
I love that. That's great. Do a lot of states have CMOs?
It's a great question. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I have no idea. The one state I know that does is Rhode Island.
Right.
So if they don't, they should. It only makes too much sense, creating alignment and having messaging centralized that way, and trying to, more importantly, messaging and alignment are all fancy business words, but just create buy-in. Just get people to believe. And that's really what we've been trying to do from the start.
I mean, I think you nailed it right there. It's just getting people to believe. And it's not like business marketing. It's highlighting all the great things that are happening here in Connecticut.
Absolutely. Look, I was appointed by the governor in this role. Whether people love him or hate him, like his politics or not, the one thing you cannot accuse him of is being anti-Connecticut. He is the most pro and positive Connecticut person that is out there.
Right.
And he said from the beginning, he says, no more bad-mouthing Connecticut. And so that is a mentality that we brought in, and we most certainly are not only taking a no bad-mouthing point of view to across state lines.
The holidays are here, and it's time to start planning your perfect holiday celebration before calendars fill up. Whether you're organizing a sophisticated corporate event or a festive social gathering, Sarah Fresca at the IC is your go-to destination for unforgettable holiday parties. From elegant ambiance to exceptional service, they'll bring your vision to life. Dates are booking fast, so don't wait. Secure yours today and make this year's holiday celebration one to remember at Sarah Fresca at the IC. Visit serafrescaic.com, mention Hey Stanford, and book your holiday party today. Hey Stanford is your #1 resource for all things local. And if you're tuning into this podcast, I'm guessing the city of Stanford holds a special place in your heart. So if you want to rep the city of Stanford, Hey Stanford, the store is where it's at. We make comfy, stylish hoodies and tees inspired by our city. Perfect for anyone who wants to rep Stanford while keeping it local. Hey Stanford, the store is your go-to for local goods, gifts, apparels, and more. Stop by in person at the Stanford Town Center or shop online at heystanford.com. Your one-stop spot to support local and look great doing it. I want to get into some specific campaigns in a little bit, but when you look at benchmarks for the state of Connecticut and what you and your team do, how do you track success for your team?
It's a great question. So those metrics for success have been things that we have. There are some that have been in place for more than a decade, and there's some that we have brought in and changed the metric of success. So some of the things that have been done year after year going back to 2012. So there's a thing marketers use, no matter the industry, net promoter scores.
Okay.
And that's you take people who are willing to recommend something versus people who are not. You get the net of the two of those together. So our office measured for years and years people's willingness to recommend Connecticut as a place to live, work, and visit. That's a measure of success for us. Another hard metric, but still a bit less. By the way, for anybody who's listening, I'm a total nerd. And this is I'm loving every second of this conversation.
That's great.
Another one is state pride. That's another important thing. So how are people feeling? And I think that is a big contributor to their willingness to recommend a place. The other piece in all those are a little bit more soft in contribution to the bigger picture, which is population growth and economic growth. So they are contributors. And this past year, all of those numbers that I've been telling you are on the up and up.
Right.
So willingness to recommend Connecticut as a place to live is up 144%. Willingness to recommend Connecticut as a place to visit is up 175%.
Wow.
And place to work is up 107%.
Wow.
State pride is at an all-time high since this study was first conducted in 2012, 61%. That's up 25% year over year. So I think, UConn's winning national championships back-to-back most certainly helps and all that.
Sure.
Can't take all that credit, but it's certainly, we're trying. We're really, you can't accuse us of not caring.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, that's impressive numbers. Connecticut as a brand, I think, is an important way to approach that.
That's my background. I came from brand communications, coming out of college right at the height of the Great Recession. I wanted to go into law school, and everybody and their brother in New York was losing their jobs and going back to law school and getting their MBA. So I was like, well, I'm going to zig when they're zagging. So I ended up in brand comms.
Right.
So my work with big companies, Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies, really impacted how I've been approaching this job. And I think it's maybe even a little bit less as a brand and more of a lifestyle, a culture that we're trying to sell.
Right.
So
I think culture is definitely an important part of that. Absolutely. Connecticut as a whole, there's so much culture here.
It really is. It's actually something that I think is one of the best kept secrets.
Right.
It's the best story never told about Connecticut. And so if I do my job well, a lot of those folks out there who love their small and quiet state are going to hate me. So I'll take it. I'll take the flack.
One thing that I went to, I think it was 2 years ago now, was the Made in Connecticut conference up in Hartford. And clearly I'm a Stanford nerd, right? Like I love where I'm from. I love where I am. And to be able to go to that conference up at I think it was the Bushnell, and see hundreds of other people, business owners, residents, just people that were also very enthusiastic about where they're from and be in that same room with everyone. It was an inspiring moment. I hope you do more of those.
We want to, really trying to get out there and drive that engagement and drive that pride that comes with it. We're in this time right now where, regardless of the news, it's more important than ever to not just cut through the noise that exists, but to engage people. It's not about the brand awareness, it's the brand engagement. So being together with people in person and making them feel something, like that's really the name of the game. That's gold.
Right.
So trying to figure out how to do more with less resources.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I come from the background, so I definitely appreciate moments like that. And when we look at our Hey Stanford Food Festival, it's the same thing.
Yes.
Thousands of people in this park in Stanford downtown where we're highlighting all the local culture. It's really fun to bring everyone together and have those moments.
I believe it. I mean, seeing you guys and what you've put together, not just bringing individuals together, but bringing businesses to the table, creating that sense of community. Seeing Mike Squires and his rise with the power washing of Macy's.
Amazing story.
What you guys have done with the beaches and some of his upcoming projects. It's a really exciting thing, and I think I wish I could bottle that magic and just like export it beyond Stanford, because it's a really special thing.
That's amazing. When you look at Stanford and when you talk about Connecticut as a brand and your goals and objectives, how does Stanford play a role in that?
I think it plays a huge role in it, especially with young people. By the way, I think I sound like my parents when I'm like, young people. I just turned 40 and I'm like, I am my dad. It's wild. So, you think of a lot of young people most of the time when they graduate college, or even if they choose to not go to college, most of the time they want to get as far away from where they grew up as possible. And so a lot of those young people from Connecticut, they're either going to Boston or New York. And I can understand. I did the same thing. Grew up in Northern Virginia, ended up in New York the moment I graduated. So I think cities like Stamford, cities like New Haven, cities like Hartford can be that version, because they are most certainly not lacking in culture, not lacking in things to do, not lacking in quality of life.
Right.
It's just a little bit smaller scale, a lot of smaller scale, but it has that value. So I think one of the things that we need to continue doing is speaking to young people authentically in their voice. It's not me going out and talking to them about it. It's getting fellow young people out there to do it. Somebody who can not only speak their language, but speak from the heart.
Right.
And that's word of mouth in essence. And that's really the most powerful form of marketing.
Amazing. I like that. Yeah. I'm noticing your socks right here. Are those
Monopoly?
Monopoly. Okay.
I'm a huge sock nerd too. I'm a lot of nerdiness in general, but I always wear some kind of different sock, whatever it is. Last night I was wearing oysters. The day before was Pez. Today it's Monopoly.
Is your sock drawer just all Connecticut branded?
I wish. I need to get on that. It's like there's a couple of pizza pairs in there, so things like that. Yeah. I'm also admiring your jacket. I mean, look at you. You're just dressed to impress here. But your jacket too, with Michael Pollock Designs. That's another inspiring story to see what he's done with pizza alone and art. Really, it's inspirational to see. He's developed. We've been talking a lot about culture today,
right? And
that's really a key part of what I'm seeing Michael do is bolting a supercharger on, the pizza culture in New Haven and around the state, and really what it was all driven. And it still continues to be driven by the pizza makers themselves. But what he's been doing, it's creating art that is all pizza inspired, and it's almost like you see him giving an expression to people who never really had that voice before.
Right.
And so that element of pride that they have in what he's doing, it's pretty spectacular. Like it's almost populistic in a way to watch and see how people are buying into it.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I loved visiting his studio, seeing the throne and the sign. I left there very inspired.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
It really is cool. And he is the most pro-Connecticut person that I've met. I mean, like he leaves me in the dust.
Right.
He loves it. So I love having somebody like that working with us and collaborating. And there are so many others out there. And so like really trying to bring all these people together to keep this momentum going. Fantastic.
I think that's a good segue because I want to talk through some of your campaigns that you introduced since you've taken the role. You've basically flipped the script on Connecticut, and
thank you.
There are so many fun things out there, and we can't talk about what you've done without talking about pizza.
Yeah, that's. I was saying to somebody last night, it's really strange to recognize that pizza is going to be my legacy. But sure, I'd say it's better than not having any legacy at all.
Right. Well, I mean, you're in the number one state for pizza, so it's only fitting. Lean into it, as they say. Right?
Really, I mean, it's better than either not being known or only being thought of as the country club state. It's all Fairfield County. So.
Right. Connecticut as the pizza capital of the United States. Give me your elevator pitch.
It's best damn pizza in the country. Why would you want to go anywhere else when you have it all right here in a state you can be across from one border to the other border an hour and a half?
There you go. That's great. I mean, we were
Keep
talking.
it simple.
Keep it simple. We were talking before how pizza is such a hotly debated topic. No matter who you talk to, they're going to have their favorites.
Yes. And they'll defend it. They will take it to their grave.
Right.
It's a universal thing. Everybody is either had or appreciates pizza, and they have their local spot. It's almost Sharks versus Jets type of turf war,
right?
Because it's like your favorite pizzeria is not always the one that's like the big name. It's your local spot.
It's the local neighborhood spot.
Yeah. So people ask me all the time, Anthony, you talk about pizza all the time. You eat pizza everywhere across the state. What do you love the most? Pepe's, Sally's, or Modern? I'm like, I like them all very much. My favorite place is Naples. Naples in Farmington, because it's where my family goes once a week.
Right.
I think it's not only fantastic pizza, but they love their community, and they have gluten-free pie, which my wife and daughter have celiac, so perfect. It's a win-win for all of us.
Right. Jeez, that was going to be my next question. I wanted that to be like a real...
I'm sorry. I took your thunder, PJ.
I wanted that to be the big social media moment. What does Anthony
hot
like?
Hot takes. So I'll give you one hot take. I think the best pie that I've ever had in my life, the number one individual pie, Pepe's fresh tomato pie, their summer pie that they only have during this season because the tomatoes are farm fresh, is unmatched. The way they get the fresh tomatoes, they marinate them. There's no tomato sauce. It's just gooey, savory cheese, fresh garlic, and those marinated tomatoes. You can't beat it.
There you go. That's perfect. I've actually had that pizza. Me and Mike Squires actually went on a paddle boat in Stanford, and Pepe's was there. And
nice.
They brought probably 20 pies with them, and that was one of them. It was so good.
I'm gonna pull an audible here.
Go.
Mike Squires, come over here really quick. Tell everybody what's your favorite pizza.
Oh, don't do that to me, dude. Oh, man. Because you got to understand, like, there are some pizza companies that have been very kind to me. You know,
all right, here, I'll
go
take the pressure off.
I'll go on a limb. I know which one it is.
Okay, go. Do it.
Just to make sure I'm in frame.
Yeah.
It's Remo's Pizza in Stanford.
Okay.
And it's a very hot take because people wouldn't say Remo's, but it is great. It is one of the best pizzas.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, one more question. What is the wildest pizza you've ever had?
Ooh. Wildest pizza is... I had somewhere where they had a honey rosemary pizza. I couldn't tell you where it was, but it was actually pretty good. It was pretty good.
I had from Naples, they have their monthly pizza right now. It's a white pie. Thanks, bud. Yeah. It's a white pie. It has arugula, a spicy Moroccan sausage, and grapes. Grapes. That's a hot take. I mean, that's the strangest thing. And ricotta. It is one of the best damn pizzas I've ever had.
Really?
Everybody's like, oh, no pineapple on pizza, no fruit on pizza. The grapes were the truth. It was like, it wasn't sweet in how you would expect it. It's almost that when the grapes are in the oven, they caramelize and they concentrate, and it almost tastes like wine as opposed to grapes.
Wow. That sounds amazing,
really
actually.
Really unique. It's delicious.
I think I'm going to take a ride up to Naples.
Let's go. I got to head back that way to go home later anyways.
That sounds great. Now, you certainly haven't made any friends with New Yorkers.
Nope. I'm pretty sure there's a hit out on me in Brooklyn. Maybe all 5 boroughs. You never know.
I mean, specifically targeting New Yorkers when it comes to pizza is a bold move, and it's the only way to really make a a difference there, right?
Yeah, well, and that's what we recognize. So one, our budget is down 44% year over year. So we knew that everything that we were doing this year needed to pack extra punch in order to maintain a positive ROI. So we're like, let's take this fight to, let's go straight to the heavyweight champ.
Right.
So go right into New York. We'll get attention, not just because people see it, but it's a big media market.
Right.
And then we did this whole thing. It's not just saying, hey, we have the best pizza, you don't, New York. We added a level of engagement. So there's a phone number or a website. It was, still is. It's still live. So if anybody wants to leave their thoughts on Connecticut Pizza, call 1-844-CT-PIZZA and let us know if you agree with us that we have the nation's best pizza or if you think it's garbage. We want to hear. But through that and the website, betterpizzaandct.com, got a ton of voicemails and text messages.
I bet those were fun.
Oh, they're amazing. They're the most amazing thing. They're just unhinged. Unhinged. And so long story short, got a ton of responses, got a ton of international media attention, like not just national, but international. Most all states covered it. Like I've seen clips from Hawaii and Alaska, and it's just like people were on the map.
Right.
Little old Connecticut, either the state that people drove through or didn't have any perception of, now suddenly is being talked about as the pizza capital. Like I got a note today from a fellow nerd who was listening to a Star Wars podcast, and like midway through the episode, they were talking about how the guy they know in New Haven is going to take him out to get the nation's best pizza. So it's just like it's into the cultural conversation and consciousness, and that to me that matters more than any metrics.
Yep.
Although there are some great metrics to prove the point. When we were running that campaign in New York, day trips to New Haven increased by 22%.
Wow.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. I mean, in just those 6 weeks we ran that campaign, a $220,000 investment, we got $13 million worth of free media. So, yes, the numbers there show a return, but the fact that people are talking about us, whether it's positive or negative, but most of it like being positive, I'll take it.
All the talk shows were talking about it. It was on every news program. Mm-hmm. And you've built a Connecticut pizza trail. It's built. It hasn't been released yet. Got it. It's coming October 1st. Yep. So that's today. It's a couple weeks from now. Right. So that'll be fun. That'll definitely spur conversation. I'm sure. Sure. A lot of angry messages, some positive ones. So we'll see. I got to hear some of those messages. I think that'll be fun. I want to talk about Connecticut as the basketball capital of the world. That also spurned a lot of conversations. So I'm going to do a quick solid here for my friend Kyle Muncy. Kyle is the brand director for UConn. Okay. And on Kyle's behalf, I want to make it clear to everybody that Connecticut is not the basketball capital. Stores is the basketball capital of the world, and that's why the sign says "Home of the Basketball Capital." There you go. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I'll clear that up for everybody and give Kyle that shout out. Yeah, and look, whether it's the pizza capital highway signs, the basketball capital highway signs, the foodie capital signs, or submarine capital, those were intentionally put where they were. Right. Because of the message. It was supposed to be a playful jab. Right. Because once again, we knew it would get attention. Not only that, it turns the reputation of Connecticut on its head. Yep. Everybody thinks stodgy and very conservative, and while that may be a part of the Connecticut identity, at the very least, they know that we're in on the joke and we're having some fun with it. Right. So, and the fact is, there's great basketball. There's amazing food. Yeah. We have, I believe it's 7 more national championships than the top second school behind us, which I believe is UCLA. They have like 11 and we have 17 or 18. Right. Sorry, Kyle. Being next to Springfield, Massachusetts, home of the Basketball Hall of Fame, that probably did not go very well over there.
It didn't. Governor Healy from Massachusetts said to our governor, Governor Lamont, at an event no less than a week after the signs went up, she said, as long as you guys keep winning, you can keep the sign up.
There you
and
go.
so we ended up winning the national championship, just like 7-8 months later. So I was like, okay, I can keep my job for another year.
The fact is, Connecticut has some great Hall of Famers also.
I saw a great meme the other day. It said, pick the winner.
Yeah.
And it was some of the greatest women's college basketball players in history. And it was Team UConn versus the rest of the schools. It's like, I'm looking at this lineup, some of the best in UConn women's history.
Right.
It's like, I'll take them any day. I'll take them any day.
We talked about the pizza trail a little bit, but you and the team have developed a lot of other kind of trails around the state, which have been fun to watch also.
It is a godsend that we not only realized that there was something to these, but it just makes it a little easier for people to digest. And we're finding more and more in this time where attention is just pulled in a million directions.
Right.
It's people want things to be curated and handed over to them. And so we've made that itinerary easier for them by having it. So and since I've gotten into the office, we've launched a small handful. We're doing the pizza trail. We've got the Christmas movie trail.
That was really fun.
22 different Christmas movies have been made in Connecticut. So my colleague Ellen Wolf did a great job with that. That was her brainchild.
What a fun way to spotlight just the fact that film, television, all of this exciting stuff is happening here.
Yeah, well, we're talking earlier about this whole idea of live, work, and play. Mm-hmm. And I think the Christmas movie trail does that in the most concentrated, unique way, because it says, hey, go visit all these great places. But also the fact of the matter is that Hallmark and BET and Netflix and all these places chose to film in Connecticut because that quality of life is so wonderful and it's picturesque towns.
Yeah.
And also it's a big industry.
Right.
I mean, Stamford has a huge TV and movie production industry right here.
Yep.
So it's critical that not only they continue doing that, but I see, despite the fact that my marketing budget for the state is down, it's critical that these businesses continue doing that here because in a way it's an extension of what it is we're doing. So I'll take it. I love that WWE and NBC Sports and ITV are all right here.
Right. Major brands in television. The fact that WWE, I'm a big wrestling fan, so to have WWE here is fantastic. That big belt right in front of their building. People stop to take photos with it now. It's become such a landmark in the area.
Yeah, that move into over with the old UBS building.
Yeah,
that's just fantastic. I love that is their HQ. It's such they're a tenant anchor, and let's keep it going.
They in that same building or the one next to it also, Major League Soccer just moved in there.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Right.
And NBC Sports is here, and so they're the big broadcaster of the Olympics.
Right.
And so most people don't know this, but all of the Olympic broadcasts are beamed right out of here in Stanford.
That's amazing.
Yes, it's huge.
The NBA on NBC is back this year after many years of not being here, and that'll be right here in Stanford also.
Yeah. Basketball, go. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's like Round Ball Rock. It's one of the best SNL skits.
I think that's going to be the clip on the
I hope so.
on social.
Basketball.
The other one was Oysters, which has been fun to watch.
We have a lot of room to grow with that one.
Right.
That's when I think there's actually a unique space to carve out because hasn't really been done that there's one place that does better oysters than anybody else. And so I'd love to really dig more into it and make that the
What's something that you guys haven't introduced yet that you would like to or that you haven't seen yet?
I'll give you a little sneak peek. There's a couple that are coming over the next year. We've got a bakery trail.
Nice.
We've got a ton of great bakeries in the state. Spooky season. Connecticut has a really great Halloween season experience, whether it's true paranormal history or just like fun, kitschy stuff.
Right.
So we're pulling all that together. The one that I'm really looking forward to, and it's because if you can't sense it, I'm a foodie.
Right.
We're going to do a food TV show trail. So all of the diners, drive-ins, and dives, Hell's Kitchen, all these other places where they've filmed food TV shows. We're putting that together.
That's amazing.
So Elm Street Diner will definitely be on that.
Elm Street Diner will certainly be on that. Stanford, I forget the exact number, but there's been a number of Food Network shows filmed here in Stanford.
It makes perfect sense why.
Yeah,
Not only is
right.
it an amazing food scene, but it's only a hop, skip, and a jump from New York where
Right.
HQ's at. So
Right.
it's like, why not?
Yeah. Cuisine is one of my favorites. They were on with Guy. Corbo's, Elm Street, of course, they're always featured on them. And there's definitely a reason why, because they're amazing.
Yeah. Yes, true
Yeah.
story. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What can we do better out of our office? Like, what can we do to put Stamford even more on the map than it already is?
We talk about culture. There's so much culture here. There's so much food here. There's a lot of great nightlife here. Businesses are just coming back to Stanford. And I feel like because there's such a great amount of things happening here that sometimes that gets lost because of all the great things happening in the other state, the rest of the state, right? Selfishly, I just like to see everything just shine on Stanford, right?
Makes sense. I get it. I get it.
We are the gateway to Connecticut, I feel like. The second city you hit here when you come into New York City. And there's just a lot of great things happening here. And I just love to shine a light on all of that.
There definitely are a schmillion great things going on in Stanford.
Yeah.
So, being able to not only tell that story for us
Right.
in a better way, I think is valuable. But what it can do is it does, as the gateway, as you're saying, it shines that light into New York, where there are a lot of folks who could potentially want an alternative, but not lose that metropolitan feel.
Right.
And so it's a fantastic space for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. Growing up here in Stanford, the city's changed so much, and it's such a big conversation with the community. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And just like pizza, it's a hotly debated topic here in Stanford. But I think there are a lot of amazing things happening here. The community in Stanford is very strong, and you go into the local grocery store and you'll still see the same people you grew up with, their parents, and it's those conversations that really make it the small community that it is, no matter how big it grows. So.
Yeah, it's so I live up in Avon, so there's a couple miles from Hartford. We all it's a really interesting thing, and I think is actually a challenge of Connecticut as a whole, in that down here you guys have totally different media that you consume than we do in the Hartford area.
Yep.
News 12 and the rest are New York stations,
right?
And we don't have that.
Right.
So we've got WTNH and WFSB. Everybody's like, "What's this alphabet soup that you're saying?" But it almost I actually think that that's a thing that kind of contributes to this feeling of Connecticut being different states, whether it's Fairfield County or the rest. And I do actually think that that's a unique challenge and one of the things that we're trying to overcome, whether it's from a travel and tourism perspective or an greater economic development perspective, getting businesses in the community down here to recognize there's a lot upstate, and that for everybody upstate to realize there's a lot down here. So it's a unique challenge, and I haven't cracked that code. When I do, I'll let you know, and
please,
we'll go capitalize on it.
Perfect. I actually wanted to touch on tourism for a little bit because, we talked about all the great things, and that's certainly driving tourism, the pizza, the oysters, the culture, all that. But tourism specifically, there's a lot of great places to visit in Stanford. The shoreline is an amazing place. Mystic, there's so many great places to stay and just visit with the family.
Very much so. So last year, we actually had an all-time high when it comes to visitors in Connecticut, just about 70 million people. So that number is generated by an organization called Tourism Economics. They do that study for most of the states out in the country. And that number is determined by anybody who travels more than 50 miles. So in a small state like Connecticut, that could just be somebody going to work. But I like the fact that it's not necessarily, a family from Chicago or Nebraska or somewhere else coming here to visit. I like that it's our own state residents because it contributes to the quality of life, because you're saying I got a ton of things to be able to do no matter where I'm at in the state. And that, adding it on to great schools, great healthcare, safe communities, it says, oh, okay, there's a reason to be here. So in a way, tourism is that tip of the spear, that lead generator for us as a state. But yeah, like going back to what you were saying before, there's you can have a legit staycation in Connecticut.
You really can. Yeah.
Especially if you get stuck in traffic on 95 going to Mystic. That could be a 3-hour drive. Might have been,
right.
So it's shorter than having to go to the Cape. So, no, we really do. We have a lot of, we have a lot of amazing things to do.
Right. We talked a little bit about what's next. What upcoming campaigns are coming up?
Great question. That's the number one question I get asked. It's like, what's next after pizza?
We're not happy with what's happening now. We want to know what's next.
Yeah. We're going to lean into the whole continuation of the foodie piece of it. Not only are a lot of people planning their vacations and their day trips around food and then filling everything else in around it, we have the data to back that up. But also, it's a great part of the continuing identity of Connecticut as a foodie destination. And it also most certainly leans into our state identity, the state of makers and creators and innovators and entrepreneurs. So we'll lean in more into that. I think there's some really big things happening on the horizon around the innovation industry. So leaning into that, and not only the forward-thinking pieces of it, whether it's AI or emerging technologies and quantum, but also, it's a key part of who Connecticut has been. Igor Sikorsky inventing the helicopter,
right?
Being Aerospace Alley, making jet engines and things. Submarines and whatnot. It's core for our state's economy. So so goes manufacturing in Connecticut. So goes our economy, and so we'll continue to try and tell that story, which hasn't necessarily been told as robustly as we've wanted to. So.
That's a good segue into just overall when you talk about Connecticut, what do you want people to say?
I want people to say it's an incredible place to live. Of all things. Sure, I want people to know and want them to travel here. I want them to want to work here. But at the end of the day, if they're happy in their home, if they feel like they're a part of a community, if they feel like they're part of something bigger, not only is it good for the state's economy, it's really good for their well-being. And again, in a crazy time that we're living in, when you wake up in the morning and the headlines are bonkers, I want people to have some level of wellness and solace in their smaller settings, because at the very least, then you feel okay,
right?
You feel safe,
right?
And that's a feeling. Truth be told, is a feeling that I have in my community. My wife and I, having lived in New York for 10 years prior to moving here, having my 2 kids here, and we're going to raise them here. I'm not going to be in state service forever, but I'm not leaving Connecticut. I can say that. So that's my genuine hope.
On those same lines, I want you to fill in the blanks.
Oh, I love this. Let's do it. Mad Libs.
Connecticut is the best state in America because
pizza. No, I can add on to that. Does it have to be more than one word?
Nope.
Pizza. Incredible schools. Great values. Super welcoming. Caring. And tiny. I think actually that size is a value proposition, because it's less about the geography and it's more about the kinship that exists. Mm-hmm. And I think that personal nature of it is something that is being lost right now in the age of social media and computers.
Right. Where can people find you? How can they find the
all the good stuff?
All the good stuff.
So I'm on LinkedIn, Anthony. The The M stands for Michael. Check out ctvisit.com. That's all about the great stuff to do in Connecticut. One of the most visited state tourism websites in the country year after year.
Really?
Yep. Little old Connecticut.
Wow.
Punching above our weight class.
Wow, getting the numbers. I like it.
Yeah, getting up there. The other one is ctmakeithere.com. And it's not me as the state talking to you. That's your fellow community members and business owners talking about why they love living and working here. It's their stories of making it here. And then we're going to launch a new thing coming up early next year. It's a whole rewards program, getting people to tell their stories and things they love around the state. And that's going to be ConnecticutMade.com. But stay tuned on that one.
I can't wait. Anthony, thank you for joining the Hey Stanford podcast.
Thank you for having me. Really, this has been fun.